And good morning, everybody. My name's Dave Lynch. I'm the city manager here in Newton Falls, Ohio, and this is our morning briefing regarding the COVID-19 here related to our own locality of Newton Falls, Ohio. We do this every morning, except for Saturdays now, by the way. We are taking a rest on, except for Sundays. We're taking a rest on Sundays. So our program is going to run Monday through Saturday until further notice at 7:30 in the morning. The point is to give you a little bit of the angle of how things are a little bit different in Newton Falls. We still want you to watch the governor's press conferences at 2 o'clock and the president's task force, which is usually a little bit later in the afternoon or the evenings. But we want you to have the local information. And one of the things I want to talk about this morning is the fact that the local order for folks to wear masks when they're in the stores for the customers has been going great. And you, the citizens of Newton Falls, are the ones we have to thank for it. And what that really means is that you are willing to protect others. In other words, you love your fellow man. That's a good thing. So keep it up, Newton Falls. You are really setting the stage for a more safe environment here in Newton Falls. Now, I will tell you that I have gotten some criticism, of course. Anytime you make a decision, you do something, especially in this case where it's a little bit different from what the governor has ordered. We do get some criticism. But it's interesting that the governor has also indicated that the science that originally had him making it mandatory for the entire state is still in place. And that's why we're doing that here in Newton Falls. And some folks have said, boy, you're acting in putting this order in a way that's so different from everywhere else. Well, maybe that's not really the case. There are some articles that have come out very recently showing where municipalities, cities like Newton Falls, all across the country are requiring local orders. And they're doing this because they realize that the science that Amy Acton said was so vitally important that we have a barrier covering our nose and our mouths is something really quite essential. So here we are in Newton Falls, and we're doing things in a way that's consistent with safety for all of our citizens. Now, I'd like to get to the live line because the COVID-19, many people view it, although there are many other symptoms and results of having COVID-19, many folks view this really as kind of a respiratory kind of a virus. And right now on our live line is Jennifer Storm, who is a registered respiratory therapist. That's easy for you to say. And she is really an outstanding part of our medical community. And she was kind enough to come on the line. Jennifer, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, you must be exhausted with what's been thrown your way in the last few months.
It has definitely been a challenge, and it's been a very different way of working than we have usually worked. Yeah. I have recently started working 12-hour shifts, and it's a long day, but you try to just do the best you can with the patients, and I'm just doing the job that I set to do. I've been doing this for almost 29 years, and I've never seen anything like this before, where we had to just wear this N95 with a surgical mask and a face shield for hours, because sometimes we're going in ICU for quite a long time, and we don't get to take it off. We're just going from patient to patient, and it's quite different.
Jennifer, have you had the experience during these last few months of dealing with people that are recovered COVID-19 patients?
I most certainly have. I have seen patients, of course, we run the ventilators being respiratory, so we're in all those rooms, but I've seen patients come in, they're in regular rooms, they're in isolation, of course, but they're just wearing minimal oxygen and they're positive for COVID, but they're doing fine. They have some discomfort. They're short of breath, possibly. They're getting inhalers, and we just check their oxygenation and make sure they're comfortable. And they have the fever, but they get through it perfectly fine. And then some people, have a harder time. And it's been different because it seems to be, if you have an underlying condition like diabetes or a heart disease or any lung disease like COPD, asthma, conditions like that surely make you more susceptible to getting any kind of infection or virus. So you're more concerned about people like that, and the elderly and people over 65. There's all kind of pre-existing conditions that kind of make you more likely. But I've seen people not get sick, and then I've seen young people get sick. So it's affecting everybody, from little ones to even, I think they even said they had someone 106. It's just amazing. It's a very different kind of virus. So, but I find it encouraging that there are many people that have gotten better and that have they're achy and fever for a week or 10 days, and then they don't even have breathing issues. It's been very interesting, and it's encouraging, though, to see that people are getting better.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer, let's talk about, as you look off into the horizon, because you've sort of been in the eye of the hurricane, so to speak. As you look off into the horizon, do you see a more positive feel, or do you have a positive feeling that we are generally emerging from the darkest parts of this epidemic?
I do. I do see that, and I think it's going to be a little while. In my feeling, I think that we're going to have little waves. We'll have a little influx of patients, and then it'll go down. And now we're kind of like on a downtrend. There's not as many positives. We have some pendings that we're waiting for the test to come back, and then I think it might go up again, and then back down. This virus is going to be with us. It's out there. It's going to be there, and I think it's just going to be in waves. And I'm a very positive person by nature, anyways. Mm-hmm. So I've always been encouraging to people, like, just try to, like with the stay at home, try to stay at home. Only go out when you need to, and especially we didn't know what this was and all the symptoms, and it's very different than we've ever dealt with. So go out when you need to. Wear that mask and when you go out, because you're protecting other people from yourself. And that's why I wear it, particularly because I'm around so many COVID patients. I wear it if I go to the store so I can protect others. When you have surgery, why do surgical teams wear masks? Because they're protecting the patient from themselves. You don't want to have a surgery, a cap or nothing. That wouldn't be right. So that's kind of how I look at it. When I say wear the mask when you go out, it's not that hard. You wear it for maybe 20 minutes in the store, take it off in your car. You don't need to wear it outside, really, Sure.
Just common sense.
So, right. But, I do see that it's going to get better, and I think we might have waves. And it's just something that's there now. Our life's a little bit different, and I think maybe it's helped people realize good hand hygiene. You need to wash your hands and not touch your face, and just be more aware of that. And maybe that's, I've always been very good with that. And I also think working in the health field, I've built up a really good immunity against so many things I've faced, different,
Sure.
There's so many things out there, the staph, all kind of viruses. And I think you people need to build that natural immunity, and you need to eat healthy and take your vitamins, especially vitamin D and C, and do those kind of things. That also protects you.
Sure. Jennifer, just listening to you, this is maybe a question out of left field, but you've seen the challenges that families have faced, really the moral challenge that individuals face when having to look down a very dark tunnel of the potentiality of things of this nature or other things you've experienced there. Has this brought to you a little bit of a more understanding of the spirituality of working in such an important part of the healthcare field?
Yes, it has. I also think, we haven't been able to have visitors in the hospital. They're restricted visitors, only one if it's, necessary. And some of these patients are real sick, and they just want to see a family member, and they're alone, and so you try to go in there and spend a little more time and hold their hand and try to make them feel, hey, because I'm like their family now for a short time.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's hard to see that sometimes because, especially if they're really, really sick and there's nobody there. So a lot of the nurses and myself and the people that are in there more, we kind of stay in there a little bit, and you just talk to them, and we're here, and we try to write like encouraging notes, like especially in ICU on the windows, like, you're doing good, you were extubated, meaning we got them off the vent, and
sure,
great job. We try to encourage them,
yeah,
because that's hard. It's to see that and to you just feel really bad because you need that support and that family. And that's why it's great, like when we're stuck at home, we can use the Skype or FaceTime or Zoom calls, and that's a good thing to do.
Sure. Well, Jennifer,
stay connected.
Yeah, Jennifer, this interview has been unbelievably informative, and it's been kind of touching as well to see the connection that you're making with folks. And on behalf of all of Newton Falls and the general community, while we're sheltered in, the war is going on, and we have warriors right there on the front lines where the weapons are being fired at you left and right, and you're firing back. And just on behalf of all of us, a big thank you and a big hug from Newton Falls. Thanks, Jennifer.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm just doing my job, but we are going to beat this. We are warriors. That is true. We're USA strong.
All right. Well, listen, God bless you, and thank you so much.
Thank
be
you.
At peace and be in good health, all right?
All right. Thank you. You do the same. Bye-bye.
Bye now. That was Jennifer Storm, and that was an interview for the ages, folks. If anything encapsulates the bravery, the dedication, the spirituality, the sense of caring of the folks that are fighting the COVID-19, that should be something that we revisit sometime. So that was quite moving. And I'll tell you something else that's been pretty moving, and that is the fact that, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have been getting folks that are working hard to help us comply with the idea of wearing these masks while we're customers in stores. And the person I'm about to bring on is doing great. Hi, is this Chelsea?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's great. Chelsea Harper, who is the manager of the E&H Ace Hardware in Newton Falls, Ohio, right on Broad Street. And I'll tell you the reason, Chelsea, that I wanted to talk to you. Tom, if you can bring that little note up on the screen. I saw a Facebook page, which all our viewers are looking at right now. It's a post, Chelsea, that you put up there about how you and your team are working so hard to protect the citizens of Newton Falls and the shoppers with the things that you're doing there in the store. And I thought you should be publicly recognized. I wanted to use this program to do it. So, Chelsea, the folks of Newton Falls have already noted to me on many occasions that your store and your team are working very, very hard to protect the citizens and to make sure your store is a safe place to be when they're out shopping. Chelsea, what got you involved in such an energized way that the citizens are so grateful to you? What motivated you to do this?
Well, see, I've been there for a good 10 years, but Diane and Sue, who have been there for 17 and 18 years, they know this community inside and out. And working with them, the way that they're so passionate about certain things, like Diane with her flowers and Sue with her plumbing, it's really hard not to get into helping take care of customers. And over the past 10 years, I've built up relationships with a lot of the different customers as well. And it's just, we love to help. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Especially the crazier the project it is, we'll get you there. We're going to help you, even if it's something small. And that's not something that a lot of people get to say. And I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but I know that those of us that put our passion into the store and make sure that it's stocked, or make sure that, this is in the perfect aisle for this. Like, it became a part of us. It's like a home. We have a second family there. We're all very close knit. And I mean, I grew up in Newton Falls. I lived there for 23 years of my life.
Sure.
And I know that Sue and Diane lived there for, we're not going to say any numbers because they'll hurt me. Steve
Okay.
is the same way. He's been there for a long time. So it's just, you build those relationships up, and it's hard not to get passionate about it.
Yeah, Chelsea, we've got a picture of your team that you sent me on the screen right now. And I want to make sure the public watching this program realizes that picture was taken before the COVID-19 crisis kicked in.
Oh,
and that's
yes.
why you see these folks without masks on, and they're close to one another because the picture was taken quite a while ago. But the fact is, what that picture does reveal is something that you really seem to say, and that is that the Ace Hardware Newton Falls treats people like family because you and your coworkers there, you guys all feel like you're members of the same family, don't you?
Yes. I think all of us can agree with that. And we did take a COVID-safe picture Saturday after we had such a long day. Us
Yeah.
6 females rocked Saturday. We did an awesome job, and we took one with our masks and our X amount of feet away from each other. So
That is outstanding. Well, the other thing I wanted to make sure I personally thanked you for was that some of the other businesses in town were sort of slow to catch on with the idea of making sure that people were wearing the mask and posting the signs. And what's happened is they've realized how very careful you have been and your staff to get the message out and to make sure that the people coming in the store realize that they are loved, and that's the reason why we want to comply with this order. And you know, Chelsea, it's been catching on around town, so you've started a very, very good movement in terms of the businesses in town, and you deserve all the praise in the world for doing that, Chelsea.
thank you. E&H actually made a mandate for us as employees. It was mandatory for us to wear masks constantly from last Monday, possibly the Monday before. And I know that corporate is working around the clock. Our merchandisers are working around the clock trying to get different things into the store. So I know there was a whole week where all of us were switching between the different types of masks. That way people could see
Sure.
which one they'd like better and which
Yeah.
one was more comfortable. And
Yeah.
it's definitely been a group effort, but thank you.
Yeah, well, you've done great. Thank you so much. And peace to you and to your family, and especially to all of your family and your Ace Hardware family. Good health to you. Thanks, Chelsea. Have a great day.
Mr. Lynch,
Yes.
can I say one thing?
Yes.
For those
course.
of you who don't have a mask and don't need to wear a mask or don't feel that you want to wear a mask, we have a million options available. There's an app, there's a website. You can call us and we will deliver it anywhere you are.
That is
And that's it.
outstanding. All right, Chelsea, wonderful day to you, all right?
You too.
All right,
Thank you.
so much. That's Chelsea Harper, who runs the Ace Hardware, the E&H Ace Hardware on Broad Street, right in downtown Newton Falls. Great place, and obviously it's a place where people care for you because they're working so hard to find compliance with the local order to wear the masks. And I'm going to switch a little bit back to editorializing a little bit because I want to make sure that folks realize the stores in Newton Falls are being given masks that you can get for free just by asking at the counter. So if you feel that, oh my gosh, here I am, I'm about to shop, and now I got to go home because I don't have a mask, that's not necessary. That mask is there for you, and the city will keep all of our retailers supplied with masks. And in addition to that, if you just want one delivered to your home, we'll take care of that too. There's no charge to you. The masks are free at the stores, and they're free if you call the city manager's office. The number is 330-872-0806, and we will get those masks to you. The masks the city is distributing are really very comfortable. So take advantage of this opportunity, and we'll continue to supply them if you call us over at City Hall. Well, in any case, that brings to an end another edition of the morning coronavirus briefing here in Newton Falls. please wear those masks when you're out shopping in Newton Falls. The people that work there are certainly dedicated to that concept. Keep the prayers going, as you heard Jennifer Storm say earlier, and she's seen what it looks like to deal with the COVID-19 right on the front medical lines. And as she has indicated, there's a spiritual component to this. And what that means is turning to God for his help. There have been many studies that have indicated that hospitals have done. People who have no motivation to want to prearrange the result of the study. And the studies show that medical outcomes are always universally better when people are praying. What does that mean? It means God is up there and he's listening. All right, folks. Well, thanks again as I conclude in every program. God bless America and God bless the city of Newton Falls.